Heed the sound. Ringo TV. Ringo TV. Ringo TV.
Welcome to another edition of Black Male Advice TV. I'm your host, Ringo. Make sure you click the like button, subscribe, and support the content.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Black Male Advice TV. I'm your host, Ringo. We are back again with another video. Today, what we're going to talk about is the subject of bashing black women versus constructive criticism. Yeah. If you're joining in the show, be sure to click the like button. It's very important that you do that so that the algorithm can send out these messages. We got to deal with this topic right here. Bashing black women versus constructive criticism. That's tonight's topic. Now, this particular topic was inspired by a comment that a woman left in one of my community posts. I post multiple community posts for a reason, right? Because I'm gonna do another show. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it later on because I just got finished doing some work in my studio so that I can solve my cool air issues. So I got that all sorted now. So now I got cool air, so you ain't gonna see me sweating on camera. Right? So I might do that particular show on camera. I might, because it's one of those shows that you need to actually see me to understand exactly what's going on. But for tonight, we're gonna talk about this issue here. I'm pretty sure if you're in these YouTube streets, you're well aware of what goes down. And, we have a lot to learn, you know what I'm saying, myself included. And I want to talk about this topic because a woman left a comment in one of my community posts. And the comment was, it was one of those comments where you have to kind of just listen to what she say and not respond. You know what I'm saying? Now, I would admit that my approach to the sisters back in the day was extremely harsh at times. At the same time, it was necessary. But at the same time, there is ways in which you can do things in hopes to make your point clear. And I think that a lot of times as men, we fail to understand the difference between bashing and constructive criticism. Now, there are times when people just need to hear the stone cold truth about their BS, and you can't sugarcoat nothing. The problem with social media today is that black men have been bashing women in a way that is unfair. And this particular woman that left her comment pretty much opened my eye to something. And see, this is why as men, you can't be so macho and manly and masculine that when women say things, you just kind of brush it under the rug and be like, listen, man, just shut up. I know what I'm doing. No, sometimes you got to actually sit back and listen. You know, so that I make my community post to challenge your mind, to pick your brain, to see what people think, the way you think. Right. So now we're going to be talking about bashing black women versus constructive criticism. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. All right. Shout out to everybody that's in the stream. You know what I mean? We got Shayla, Jay's channel, David, what's going on? HD, KC Moto Sports, Shao, Rashad, Divine, Lee, Artist, however, forever, Blessed, Sam, what's going on? Okay, Garrison, what's going on? Blue God, Sip Hop, Cynthia, what's going on? Sean, the Navigator, what's going on, bro? Monica, how you doing? All right, so we're gonna deal with this particular issue. First thing I want to do, I want to put the comment on the screen so that you could pretty much see what the lady had to say. Right, this is the comment. Right, it's in one of my community posts that I recently made. She said the following. I'm not even sure. Let me see. Well, she said as a black woman. So okay, we're dealing with a black woman. All right, she said, as a black woman, I think it's important for us to talk about these things. We don't have an issue listening to constructive criticism. We have an issue with the bashing of black women and comparing us to non-black women when they are not the same as us. Just like we can't compare black men to white men, because you all are not privy to the same social and economical status as white men. You should keep it fair on both sides of the black men and the black woman. Not be one-sided like all these other YouTubers. Point out the flaws, but also give solutions. One of the reasons I couldn't stand Kevin Samuels and his followers. Please do better and be fair. Okay, now, after reading her comment, I mean, what could you say? You can't really say anything, you know? I responded and I said, you post one of the best comments I've read in a while. Congratulations. Now, the reason why it's one of the best comments is because we actually got an insight from a black woman that didn't just respond with venom. She made it clear that black women don't have a problem with constructive criticism. What they got a problem with is when you're bashing them in the context of comparing them to non-black women. Now, let's examine that. Let's examine this form of bashing. When you're a black man, right, you have to understand that as a black man in this society, especially when we just finished dealing with the 50s, when our people couldn't even drink out of certain water fountains, right? Like, our people had water fountains that was specifically designed for us to drink out of. We just came out of the 50s, right? Our people have been in bondage, suffering in this system. So the issues that we have today with black men and black women goes way back. You understand? It was all by design for us to hate one another. So the hatred for one another have been magnified with social media, because social media allows us to come online, say what we want, hide behind avatars, nobody know your location, and we're able to just spew a bunch of venom. And then again, you have situations where you might have non-black people that will pose like black people to set fires. So let's say, for example, you'll have a non-black person using an account with a black male photo. And they'll come in there and they'll say something disparaging towards black women. And because you see a black photo, you will assume that's a black man. This is all propaganda. This is another form of how they infiltrate the community to cause us to fight against one another. It's sort of like a war where you have one country that will shoot down a plane, and for whatever reason, it was a U.S. plane, and it was actually friendly fire, but the way they made it seem was like the other nation purposely killed someone from the U.S. And now what that does, it gives reason for war. So what happened is through social media, we're not even understanding how this war began. And I can guarantee you that it's not just black men fighting against black women because we just wanted to fight. It have a lot to do with propaganda and them setting fires and then have us fight against each other. So if a black woman see a brother, or what appears to be a brother, make negative comments regarding black women and then comparing them to non-black women, that's going to automatically make the black woman feel some type of way. Now, what's interesting about this particular sister's comment is that she said something along the lines of, she said bashing of black women and comparing us to non-black women when they are not the same as us, which is true. White women are not the same as black women, just as Asian women are not the same as white women. They're not the same. We're dealing with totally different groups of women that live a totally different type of lifestyle. Their culture is totally different. The way they get up in the morning is different. Their attitude is different. See, a lot of you brothers, you might look at a white woman and think, oh, she's so much better than a black woman. But the truth is, if she really was, why you don't have a white wife? See, I realize that a lot of you brothers, you do that because you want to get under the skin of a black woman by saying that the white woman is so great. Well, if that's the case, why so many white men on social media are a part of the MGTOW movement? Do you realize that white men started the MGTOW movement? You understand? These men that claim they're going their own way. Well, they're going their own way because they don't even like their own women. They got issues with their own women. So my thing is, if white women are so much better than black women, why white men are going their own way? And why you so-called black men have no white wives or children at all? I want to know why. So that is a form of bashing, because what you're doing is you're putting down black women by saying that white women are better, but yet as a black man, you don't even have a white woman. Now that's kind of crazy to be bashing your women by saying another group of women are better than your women. That's insane. So what the sister basically said here is, look, she said, just like we can't compare black men to white men, because you all are not privy to the same social and economical status as white men, which is true. Which is true. I mean, even if you're a brother and you're making money, you don't have the power that the other nations have. You don't. You really don't. You don't. They got the power to control all sorts of stuff. They control the military. Where is our military, black man? Where is our military? We don't got no military. Remember, we're the lost sheep of the tribe of Israel. We're the lost sheep of the children of Israel. We have been lost for a long time. We came out of captivity. We were sold as slaves, as bondmen and bondwomen. Right? So the other nations, they got a head start over us. They got over 400 years of a head start. So economically, they're going to be far superior, right? So now, what do you think would happen if all black women we're just bashing black men and comparing us to white men in terms of economic status, social status, power, and so forth. You brothers wouldn't like it because if you really think about it, no matter how much you brothers feel you're great, no matter how much six-figure job you have, whatever you got to say, you are not on the same playing field as white men, no matter how you feel. Not in this society. You're not. You're not. You understand? Because if you were, you would control the laws of the land. See, whoever is controlling the laws of the land, they're the ones who's in rulership. Do you understand me? All your masculinity talk, all of you're an alpha male. Okay, how much that alpha male talk is doing for you, you don't control the laws, bro. You're not the one building all of these skyscrapers. Your finances is not making it happen. It's the big bankers that are doing this, the real movers and shakers. Do you understand me? So now, if black women wanted to bash black men all day based on their social and economic status, you brothers would lose. You wouldn't like that. So we as a people, we have to begin to have balance when it comes to the difference between bashing and constructive criticism, right? Constructive criticism includes sharing the truth. The truth may not be welcome at all times, but it must be done in a way where it is accepted even though it may not feel comfortable. You understand? You see, as black men, you cannot compare black women to white women. You should never do that. That goes against the rules. It really do. It do. It goes against the rules because you're dealing with two different types of women. Number one, the white woman is really not even checking for you brothers. They're not. You have to understand that. They're really not. Even if a few of you guys might end up with a white woman, at the end of the day, you really got nothing in common. You can try to think you do, but if that was the case, you would be white. See, the Most High made you, black man, to be with that black woman. He did. Now, don't get me wrong. If you wanted to go and do whatever you want to do with a woman of the other nation, or if she found favor in your eyes or whatever the situation is, then it is what it is. I can't stop you from, having an interracial situation. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't do. What I'm here to let you understand is that as men, we cannot go around bashing our women, putting them down, and then uplifting another group of women that don't even support you. Like, it's not making any sense. And don't get me wrong, you might have white women out there that support black men, but at the end of the day, your women come first, bro. Period. It's a violation to compare black women to white women, or to say, oh, white women are far more, they're more pleasant to be around. Who told you that? Who told you that as a black man, being around white women is more pleasant than being around a black woman? See, this is where the bashing causes our women to get upset, because we're not doing anything constructively to offer solutions on why things are the way they are. Instead, we're doing things to actually hurt people. We're doing things to cause emotional trauma. See, me personally, there is nothing like a black woman. You understand? There is nothing like a black woman. When you have a black woman around you and you and her are really vibing and things are the way it's supposed to be, no other group of women can be compared to that. Do you understand me? Some of you guys, you be like, nah, fam, I'm going to the Philippines. I'm going to get me an Asian woman because there's so much this and that. Fam, you know good and well that the women over there, and you are not really a great pair. Even if some of your situations may work out, my thing is this. If the Filipino women are so superior, right, then why all the Filipino men are not wifing them up? Why? Matter of fact, I wish I had the clip. I wish I had the clip with me right now so I can play it before you. Those of you who watch the Melly Monaco channel, the sister with the big titties, right? You know, there was a show recently where she had a woman that I believe she's part Filipino, or I'm not sure if she's black and mixed with Filipino. If you can remember that show, that woman said out of her own mouth that she don't want no Filipino man. And she's supposed to be Philippines, mixed with something. I'm not sure if it's black or what. I'm assuming she has some black in her, because you could tell by looking at her, you could see a sister in her, but she's mixed with probably Filipino. Maybe her mom was Filipino. I'm not sure. But that particular show, she said out of her mouth, she don't want no Filipino man. She said they're short, they're this, they're that. And I'm saying to myself, like, you hate your own men. It was disgusting to hear her say that, because she's interested in black men, but the way she disrespected all Filipino men, that sort of sound the same way black men do black women. You see that? So I wish I would have had that clip where I could have played it and you would have heard what she said. But my point is, as black men, it's like we don't realize the damage that we cause our women when we're comparing them to other groups of women. This is why our women have so many issues. This is why they resort to putting on this and wearing that and doing this and doing that, because they're trying to compete with these other women, because they figure if you like the white woman or you think she's so much better, then you know what? I'm going to go get this type of hair. I'm going to go get these type of makeup. I'm going to do this because I'm going to try to make myself look somewhat like what I believe you guys like, in hopes that you would accept me. And then what's sad about this is, let's say, for example, you try to, you criticize her, or you say, well, sister, I don't like the fact that you're wearing that, or you look better natural, or, because, you know, we say these things. But at the end of the day, when we look at you brothers on social media, how many so-called white women are you actually following on your Instagram page? How many pictures are you liking? How many non-black women photos do you like every single day? Are you liking the black sisters pages? Are you showing them that kind of support too? No, you're not. So this is why our women resort to going out there doing different things. And then on top of that, to add insult to injury, when they go and they change their whole look, trying to look more like these other women that you brothers hold up so high, they still don't get any support from you. So now what we have here is our women going through a lot of depression, anxiety. They're trying to figure out, like, look, I'm doing everything I can. These men are still bashing us. They're still putting us down. They keep saying that these other women are so great. And now our women have a form of jealousy built up in their heart that shouldn't even be there. A lot of them may not admit it, but they grow to become jealous. And it's not healthy. See, jealousy is a part of life. At times, every last one of you are going to get jealous of something. That's normal. That's a part of life. Matter of fact, if you're a man and your woman is fine and she outside and you kind of concerned where she at, it's a form of jealousy. If, you know what I mean, you're kind of thinking about, like, it is a form of jealousy because you think that maybe there's a possibility something could be going wrong, or maybe she's doing something she had no business doing. That form of jealousy is not a negative thing, because it's actually a display that you actually love the woman and you don't want no one else to be with her. So it's a form of jealousy, not in the negative way. You're just concerned where your lady's at. But now we don't want you to be that way because it's a sort of fair. It's a form of fair, I should say. And if you fair these type of things, then most likely your woman going to end up fooling around on the side. But now, when it comes to the whole idea of black men bashing black women, especially on social media, right? A lot of us brothers have been guilty of this. You have a lot of black men that are doing this today in a way that's so severe, it's really bad. And the question that you have to ask yourself is this: if you brothers, right, if you don't like black women, right, why do you continually talk about them in a negative way every single day, all the time? You have no original content other than talking about these women in a negative way all the time. Now, again, constructive criticism, right? It will expose negative things. So if you're a woman and you're listening, you have to understand that constructive criticism is not going to only and always be nice to hear. Constructive criticism is not something that feels good and feels sweet. Constructive criticism is going to have the truth in it. You may not like it, but the problem with black men today is that when they talk about the issues concerning black women, right, they never offer any solutions, right? And on top of that, they never address the issues with black men. Do you understand me? They never deal with the issues of black men. And shout out to Rebel for Almighty, Sherelle in the building. What's going on? Let me see. Okay, I got everybody. All right, so the issue that we have here is very, very, very destructive, to say the least, because as black people, we need to stick together. We really do. We have to get back to the basics of us coming together. And to be honest with you, Kevin Samuels, when he was here, right? Kevin Samuels had the opportunity to actually bring black people together. He had that opportunity and he failed. He failed. You know how I know? Let's go back to the comment. See, I already know why, but I want you to hear it from a black woman. Again, the sister said in my community post, she said, as a black woman, I think it's important for us to talk about these things. We don't have an issue listening to constructive criticism. We have an issue with the bashing of black women and comparing us to non-black women when they are not the same as us, just like we can't compare black men to white men because you all are not privy to the same social and economical status as white men. You should keep it fair on both sides of the black men and the black women, not be one side like all these other YouTubers, point out the flaws, but also give solutions. One of the reasons I couldn't stand Kevin Samuels and his followers. You see that? She said, please do better and be fair. Now, I don't know the age of that woman, but she sounds like a mature woman. She sounds like a woman that's mature. Maybe she's a younger sister, but she sounds like a grown woman that's mature and understand what's going on. See, they don't have a problem with constructive criticism. They don't mind if you brothers point out the flaws. But see, the problem is when you guys point out the flaws, you start to compare the flaws to women of the other nations. And when you do that, you're not helping our women, you're causing them more trauma. Because it's bad enough as a black woman to know that their own black men may have issues with them. They have an issue with that. No different than we would have issue with our women if they had a problem with us. But the problem gets worse Not that you pointed it out, because constructive criticism is needed. The problem is when you don't offer no solutions to the table, right? And then you go to comparing us to other people that don't even like us. That's when it becomes destructive. Now it's no longer constructive criticism, it's destructive criticism. You see that? That's a problem. So the sister made it very clear. She said, this is one of the reasons I couldn't stand Kevin Samuels and his followers. Why? Because they're not offering any solutions to the community. Kevin Samuels with his platform could have reached black women like no one else, but he didn't do that. He bashed black women every day on his minstrel show. That's what he did. It's unfortunate that he passed away. At the same time, him being gone is actually a relief for a lot of sisters, despite how you brothers may feel, because I know a lot of you made videos talking about women are celebrating the death of Kevin Samuels. I don't think you understand what he did and the damage that was done to our women through bashing, because he did it in a way that was so subtle but very effective, to the point where he created an army of more black men that are out here doing his dirty work. Let me explain something to you, because I don't think you understand how severe this is. The so-called struggle streaming attorney, right? Is he uplifting black women right now? Is the struggle streaming attorney, the guy that claimed he was Kevin Samuels' friend, is he uplifting black women? Is he trying to empower black women? No, he's not. What he's doing is he's telling black men to go overseas to find themselves a non-black woman. That's what he's doing. So now, if he's supposed to be Kevin Samuels' friend, allegedly, and he's supposed to be upholding the legacy of Kevin Samuels, then by his own actions, the legacy of Kevin Samuels was never to empower black women. It was to bash black women and put them down and degrade them. Because he's not telling black men to stick with their black women. He's not teaching or offering solutions on how we can come together as a people. No. Instead, what he's doing is he's telling black men to go get a passport and go to the DR to find other women, to go overseas to different countries to try to find a woman that's not associated with the black women in America. Now, if that's the case, that's a representation of Kevin Samuel, because that is what Kevin Samuels represented. Because if you really studied Kevin Samuels' material, the kind of women that he actually interviewed, he never bashed. Every woman that Kevin Samuels interviewed on his platform that was non-black, he never bashed them. He uplifted them. He praised them. Or he just stayed quiet. But whenever he had a sister on, he would make an example out of her, shame her based on her looks, embarrass her all over social media. Now, what do you think that did to our women? It made them feel bad. Let me tell you something, fam. Let me tell you something. You know the same woman, the so-called average at best woman that everybody was laughing at? A lot of you laughed at that woman when Kevin Samuels had her on the show. Now, granted, she did come on his show, on his platform. It was not a night for him to offer her any consultation about whatever, but he kind of like went along with it. Yes, she did say she's a 5 or something along those lines. But the way in which he did what he did, he could have just got her off the phone and said, look, tonight is not the night for this and that. I'm going to have to let you go and just keep it going. But no, the way he did what he did, it was to disgrace her publicly. Because at times during his conversation, and we're going to do a reactionary video to that stream to find out what really went down. The way he did her, it was very dirty because he talked about her looks and he said, don't let me say it. There was a part in his message where he said, don't let me say it. You know, look at how you look. Don't let me say it. Right now, what's interesting about this is the woman already knew she wasn't a 9 or a 10. But I can guarantee you that 80% of the men, right, that watch that program would sleep with that woman. Ain't no doubt about it. You would. You would. And what's sad about this is how black men would bash a woman based on her looks. The woman is not really that bad the way everybody made her out to be. And what's interesting is they did that to a dark-skinned sister. They did that to a dark-skinned sister and it went over the airwaves. Now, what do you think that does to our people? What do you think that does to the majority of dark-skinned sisters that already have issues concerning how they look because of their dark skin? And to all the dark-skinned sisters out here, let me make something very clear to you, fam, because I don't think you understand this. And this is something that I had to deal with pretty much all my life. The first 7 girlfriends I've ever had was all dark-skinned chocolate sisters. Do you understand me? I wasn't interested in any light-skinned sisters or brown-skinned sisters at that time. I was interested in the dark-skinned sisters. And you know what's so interesting about this? You know what's so interesting about these particular sisters, fam? They have the most melanin. They have the most power and ability. And it's like when you think of the melanated woman, the dark-skinned sister, she's more closer to nature than any other woman on the earth. She's the most spiritual. She have the most insight to the planet. Do you understand the power that you possess? And to think that society made you, black woman, feel insecure about yourself when you are the original woman? That's crazy. That's crazy. And listen, I'm not just talking about beauty. I'm not talking about just beauty. We're not even going there. We're talking about the nature of the dark-skinned woman, the original woman. All women came out of that woman. She's more closer to nature than you possibly could imagine. She have the ability to read minds. She have the ability to connect with the Most High far greater than any woman on earth. But she don't know about her power. And this is why society have made you feel so insecure about yourself. They made you feel like the darker you are, the less attractive you are, not realizing that you're so attractive that every ethnic group of women actually envy you, but you don't know that. It's a secret envy that you don't understand. See, sister, when you walk out in the sun, you don't have to put nothing on your skin. When you look up at the sun with your eyes, you don't need dark shades. But when you look at the other nations of women that are not as melanated as you are, they gotta wear shades, they gotta put on sunblock, they gotta put on this, they gotta do all this extra stuff in order to stand in that sunlight. Because if they stand in there too long, they will burn up and they will be toasted. But you, on the other hand, the more you stand in that sun, the more glistening your skin complexion. That's power. And they know that. The darker you are as a woman, you're not susceptible to sickness and disease. Do you know that? Do you know that even though everybody can get sick, due to the fact that you have the most melanin of all people. You're literally a walk-in cure. But you don't know that. You don't realize that your energy, your prayers, everything you do has power. But they want you to look down on yourself. So you try to bleach your skin. You try to do this and that to appear lighter. Don't you do that. Don't you dare do that. You're the first woman. You're the original woman. The blueprint. You're not a copy. You're the blueprint. Do you understand me? So, for you as a black man to condemn, bash, and belittle the black woman, she have gone through this for so many years. Looking down on herself, looking in the mirror, not thinking she's good enough. And it's sad. It's sad how our women are walking around comparing themselves to other women when our women are the original women on this earth. That's crazy. Imagine being the original. Imagine being the original and everybody else is praising the copy. But you're the original. That's sad. And as men, we got to do better when it comes to what we say. There's nothing wrong with criticizing. Criticism is welcome. I believe every woman should welcome criticism. Don't ever get to a point as a woman that you feel you are above reproach. Don't ever get like that. Be open to criticism because there are times you need it. But at the same time, black man, what's sad about the fact that you bash black women is that you never hold black men accountable for anything. Never. You never do. You always got something negative to say about your women, but you never talk about black men. You never talk about black men issues. You never talk about black men that are not in the houses, that not our fathers, that just use women. You're not there to talk about that. Why you're not there to deal with them? Why you're not bashing black men that take advantage of black women? Why is it okay as a black man to turn a blind eye to men that degrade women, that abuse women, but you have nothing to say about the brothers? Why? Why it's okay as a black man to not talk about black men who sell drugs in the community? Why you're not talking about that? Why you're not talking about the crime in the community? Why you're not talking about the women that have been abused, possibly molested? Why you're not talking about those issues and the men that do those things to our women? Why? Why is everything about, oh, black women are this and they have the worst attitude and they're this and they're just horrible and I can't stand them and I need to get me a white woman? And really, how is that helping your women? You got to offer solutions, black man. You got to look at the solutions and begin to focus on that. You're focusing on the problem too much. And I think that's where the frustration come in with our women. They don't mind hearing some criticism. They don't mind hearing you talk about the issues, but the problem is you're not even offering no solutions. Look, you can't be out here talking about how all these women are single mothers and their legs are open all day, but yet you brothers are not trying to stay in these women's lives. You're not trying to stay in their life. All you brothers want to do is open our sisters' legs up, pump and dump and leave them with a baby. And then you want to get on social media and bash them and say they're single mothers. Look at them. They're making all these poor decisions in men when you're the man that they're choosing. So how about we talk about your decisions? Look, black man, let's just be reasonable. Let's be reasonable and let's be accountable for our actions too. You know that when you laid up with that sister, you were raw dogging her. You were enjoying her vagina. Y'all were both having fun. Yes, y'all both made the decision to have sex together. But let's be honest, fam. You knew you weren't wearing no condom. You knew it's a possibility that sister could get pregnant. You knew that, right? So now that she got pregnant, all of a sudden now you want to look down on her and say it's her decision and, oh yeah, she got pregnant, as if though you didn't deposit the seed. See, as a man, you got to take personal responsibility for what you're doing too. You can't look at the woman and say, oh, well, she could have been on birth control and, she should have been more responsible. And, no, if you don't want no babies, bro, why are you raw dogging these women? Let's talk about that. Why don't you keep your Johnson in your pants, right? And don't have sex with none of these women? Because, look, black man, listen to me very carefully. Listen to me. When you're having sex with a black woman, it feels good, right? You're having a great time, right? See, all of that sounds good. It feels good. But she can have a baby, right? My question to you brothers is this. If you're going to have sex with a black woman and you don't want no babies, why are you raw dogging them? Why are you even having sex with them for? There's a possibility she could get pregnant, bro. If I'm with a woman and I like this woman and I'm really feeling this woman, I already know there's a possibility she could get pregnant. And if I'm with her, I would want her to get pregnant. See, the problem with you brothers is you want to run from the responsibility. You want the enjoyment of being with the woman, but you don't want the responsibility of dealing with a baby. See, that's hypocrisy, fam. And this is why, as a community, we can't grow. Because black men want to focus on talking about what women are doing wrong, but we don't want to talk about what we're doing wrong. Now, me personally, I don't pump and dump these sisters. I don't do that. I don't play those games. That's bad karma. I got 4 daughters, man. Do you understand that? I got 4 daughters in whom I love. So I would be a fool to be out here mistreating women, abusing women, pumping and dumping and leaving them. When I got 4 daughters, no, I got to make sure that I'm an example. Do you follow me? I got to make sure that I'm an example, because if I'm an example as a father and they see me, right? Guess what's going to happen? They're going to know what a quality man is like. So when they see these jokers out here, these jokers that try to run game, because a lot of these young ladies, they growing up fast, their bodies are changing. And we're going to do another video that I want to do, a reactionary video to something that's important. We're going to talk about that to bring some awareness to something that needs to be addressed. But a lot of these young ladies are growing up fast, and these men are going to come after your daughters, right? Well, if there's no fathers in these households that are on point, and these young girls don't got no guidance, guess what's going to happen? They're going to get taken advantage of by these men. They're going to get taken advantage of by these men. And then the cycle will continue again. Another generation of young girls abused, left as single mothers by these black men. So we got to do better as men. We got to really do better. We got to come correct and make sure that we're doing our part so that our women are strengthened, not belittled and bashed. This is why on social media, it's very difficult to talk to our women. And I'm going to be doing a video regarding filters, because I was disappointed in my last community post that I made, where I made a post regarding filters and the usage of filters by our women. And my post was very constructive. And a lot of sisters were literally calling me a racist, because I didn't focus on what other women are doing in other ethnic groups when I'm trying to address issues with my women. Instead, they would say stuff like, well, other ethnic groups of women, they're using filters. What about them? See, sisters, when a black man is giving you constructive criticism about something that you're doing that's destructive to the community, the best course of action is never to focus on what somebody else is doing, because what you're saying is you're trying to justify what you're doing because somebody else is doing it. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that in another stream, because the way I do my content, I do it in a way where there is no way that you can rebuttal what I say, because I use pure logic. and I ask a lot of questions. I pick your brain and I make you realize that you're wrong. And then I offer the solution. I don't just come on YouTube, share my thoughts, and have you walk away feeling insecure about yourself. I don't do those type of things. I got a lot of love for black women. Even though a lot of you may not like me, I get it. At the same time, in this community, we need truth. That's the only way we're going to grow as a people. We need people to speak truth. And for the most part, a lot of women are getting lies from a lot of men. And then on top of that, you're getting bashed by a lot of men on social media. There needs to be a balance so that women can have more confidence in black men to realize that all your brothers don't hate you. There seems to be this stigma on social media where black women feel that if any black men speak against a black woman, it means that he hate them. Do you understand? If you go to my community post where I talked about filters and black women, somebody actually came in there and said, "Why are you talking about black women?" That's what the woman said. I couldn't believe it. She said, "Why are you talking about black women?" And all I questioned was the usage of filters on social media with our women, portraying an image that is not real. Because on social media, our women use filters on all of their photos, making themselves look a certain way. They even use it on their YouTube videos. There's a lot of content creators, female content creators, that use filters, black women, and they appear perfect on camera. It's deception. Do you understand me? It's not real. So because I asked the question, a black woman said, "Why are you talking about black women?" As if though, as a black man, I'm not supposed to question nothing black women do. Now, if that's the world that you ladies want to live in, I'll stop speaking truth regarding you. I'll just let you just go and destroy your whole life. Because if you want to live in a world where no man leads and sets standards and focus on why and focus on solutions on how to help this community be better, and you have a problem with a black man, you're in a whole world of trouble. Because when there is no leadership from black men, don't expect nobody to save you. Don't expect no one to save you. Now, don't get me wrong, there's going to be black women that's going to hate the truth, regardless. No matter how creative you do it, no matter how well you speak, no matter how balanced you are, there will be black women that will hate everything you do, no matter what, because they're set in their ways. But to get to a point where, as men, we're unable to criticize you, and you feel that everything we say is hate, that's crazy. That's crazy. Now, back in the day, when I used to make videos, I used to go in. And I may still go in, but it's for reasons, and I always offer solutions. Anytime I would have anything to say regarding black women back in the day, it was raw to the core, very, very harsh, full of a lot of profanity, because it's a lot of issues in our community, and it seems like the only language you understand is when someone give you a spiritual whooping through words so that you can open your eyes and realize what's going on. And even though a lot of my videos from back in the day was very harsh, at the same time, I offered solutions. I offered solutions like a surgeon. I opened you up, slid your whole chest open. It was very messy and bloody, but at the same time, I stitched you up. And you were healthy again because I offered you solutions. But see, a lot of black men on social media, they're not offering you no solutions. They're just bashing you. They're bashing single mothers every single day. They're telling black men, avoid single mothers. That's what they're teaching black men. Avoid them. They're no good. But these same black men would go get with a white woman that have a child. Let it make sense. That's what they're doing. And you know what's so sad and so hypocritical about black men is that you will bash the single mothers, but you don't have a problem sleeping with them. You don't have a problem having sex with them. Now, brother, if you don't want to wife up a single mother because she got kids, okay, I get it. Why you're still interested in having sex with her? Why are you interested in going to her house to have pleasure with her? So you find value in her sex, but you don't have no value in taking care of her or wifing her up. Let that make sense. This is why our community is falling apart. Because we spend too much time comparing our women to non-black women, and it's not good. Our women need to be loved. That's what they need. Because they've been bashed, they've been abused by black men that were no good. And because of this abuse and this trauma, it caused our women to be on the defense at all times. Which means if a quality man come into their life, they already done got their guard up. And they're not trying to let their guard down. A lot of you ladies that are listening to me right now, you find yourself not trying to be vulnerable around a black man because your guard is up and you don't want to, I guess, walk in your feminine energy to the max because you're concerned that this guy may be just like the previous guy you were with. So I got to be strong. I got to be, I got to do what I got to do. Now, when it comes to being independent, let's talk about it. A lot of times we hear about the independent black woman. No, women need to be independent, but not independent to the point where they feel they don't need a man. Let's balance that out. As a woman in this society, yeah, you need to be independent. You need to have a way of making income. Because if you were with someone and something happened to them and they're not here no more, we need to make sure that as a woman, you got a skill or something that you do that can earn you money so that you're able to survive. This is why when I teach on polygyny and I talk about polygyny, a lot of times women, they keep hearing sex, sex, sex. And they don't think about economics. They don't think about the wealth building process and how, as a man, having multiple wives is not about having a bunch of women in the house just kind of on Facebook, just playing games. No. You have to know how to teach women on how to earn money to the point where nobody is at a 9 to 5. I mean, if that's what you want to do in terms of having a career, whether you're an attorney or, whatever it is that you do, whatever your passion is, you can still pursue that. But the goal is to be self-sufficient to the point where we have businesses and things that we're operating that we will never lack ever. Like we would never worry. We would never worry about money. See, as a black people, we're worried about money. We're worried about what we're going to eat, how we're going to be drinking, what we're going to wear. We're doing everything that the Bible tells us not to do. In the scriptures, it talks about how look at the lilies of the field. Look at the birds of the air. They toil not, neither do they sow, but your heavenly Father takes care of them. But see, us, we worry about what we're going to eat. We worry about what we're going to wear. That's why we go to work. And a lot of us don't even like what we do, but we have to do it because that's how we're going to survive. Well, what I try to teach is for us to come together as a unit so that we're able to build businesses and grow economically. See, what the sister said in the comment, let's go back to that comment. She said, as a black woman, I think it's important for us to talk about these things. We don't have an issue listening to constructive criticism. We have an issue with the bashing of black women and comparing us to non-black women when they are not the same as us. Just like we can't compare black women to black men, to white men, because you all are not privy. You all are not privy. You all are not privy to the same social and economical status. Social and economical status. Privy to the same social and economical status. So now, when we factor in what the sister said in terms of social and economic status, when I teach on polygyny, it is not about some man just having more than one wife to play around in the house. It's about building our social and economic status. And this is something as a people we haven't been taught because we're too indoctrinated in this culture that has lied to us and turned us against one another. If you think that the so-called white man is doing everything by himself, you're sadly mistaken. There's unity amongst them. If you even look at the so-called Jewish man and Jewish woman, do you know what kind of unity they have? Let me tell you something. Here in New York City, all right, there's a store that I shop from all the time. I mean, I'm there all the time, right? The name of this particular store is called B, the letter B, H, the letter H, Photo. Those of you that are into music, multimedia, photography, you know about that particular store. Let me tell you something about B&H Photo Store. That is by far the best electronic store to buy all of your products. You want to know why? You want to know why? They have the best customer service ever. And guess who it's ran by? It's ran by Jewish people. See, Jewish people understand business. They understand the market. They understand economics. When I tell you, when I walk in that store, I feel like a customer because when I walk in there, they treat me with the utmost respect. When I walk down the aisle, nobody's following me around to see if I'm trying to rob something. No. Somebody will pass by and they say, "Sir, if you need any help, I'll be over there and you can ask me any questions you would like." And then they go about their business and they leave you alone. And when you ask them questions about whatever it is you're trying to get, their professional team will begin to go through the ins and outs of what it is. And then when you're satisfied, you make a purchase. But see, now, if you go to stores where our people work, oh boy, well, we about to open up a can of worms. Tell your neighbor we about to open a can of worms. Turn to your other neighbor and say, he's serious. When you go to your local Target, when you go to your local Best Buy, and our people are working the register, or our people are in the aisle, and we need customer service, do you think I feel the same way? No, I don't. Because our people give the worst customer service. You know why? Because we don't know how to treat one another and we don't understand business. Do you understand me? And this goes for both the men and the women. Both the men and the women in stores. Our people. I'm talking about our people. Give the worst customer service ever. To the point where you become disappointed and you don't want to shop at that store no more. Why is that? Why is it that I can go to B&H Photo store in the city, a store that is ran by Jewish people? Now keep in mind, you got black people that work in the store too. And they are cool as heck, professional. Now, why is it that the black people that work in a Jewish-owned business, why is it that they conduct themselves in the most professional manner ever? Why is that? But in these regular stores, the Best Buys, your local Target, and you walk up to a cashier or somebody in the aisle, you're like, excuse me, could you help me find this and that? They don't even know where the stuff is at, and they work in the store. Or they'll give you an attitude. Or they'll screw their face. Or they'll say, I'm busy. Or they'll say, I'll be back in 1 minute, and then they don't show up. Leave you hanging. You see, the reason for that is because we as a people, we don't understand business, economics, and social status. We don't realize that the things we do towards one another affects our social image, and this is something that needs to be addressed. Do you understand me? So if you thought that I was going to only focus on black women as cashiers or being rude, think again. Because you have a lot of black men that work in different stores that give poor customer service. And it's bad. We got to do better. So when the sister talk about how black men are not privy to the same social and economic status as white men, how do we change that? We got to do better as a people. We got to learn to build. We got to create more businesses. We got to learn how to invent things. We got to be producers. This is not going to happen by one man trying to do everything himself. This is going to happen with teamwork. In order for us to be truly successful in this world, we got to join together. And this is something that the powers that be have been trying to shut down for a long time. This is why they keep us on social media arguing all day against ourselves. This is why they keep men on platforms bashing women, and then you got women bashing men. Look at all these channels on social media with divestors bashing our brothers all day long. All day. All they do is bash black men. Black men are no good. You know? They telling black women to abort their babies. How disgusting. To tell black women to abort male children. That's sad, man. But this is what's allowed on social media. And you only see it with our people. You don't see white women telling white women to abort the babies of white men. You don't see that. You don't see that at all. You don't see Asian women coming out in the public telling their women to abort Asian male children. You don't see that. Because it's wrong. So what makes our men and women bash each other? What makes us do these things? Who's paying for this? Who's authorizing this agenda of self-hate? Who's doing that? So let me get this straight. You'll allow the female child to be born, but if it's a male child, you'll abort the baby? So what's going to happen to our nation? We ain't going to grow as a people. And that's the whole point. That's what they want. They don't want us to unite. It goes back to Black Wall Street. You remember that? You remember Black Wall Street when we had all the businesses, all the wealth, and we were building? You remember that? We were doing a lot. We were doing a whole lot. But for whatever reason, we resorted back to fighting because they teared everything down. And it's sad. It's really sad how we just turned against one another. And now it's like we're just lost. We don't like each other. We don't love each other. We don't want to build no families. Women don't want to get married. Men don't want to marry none of the women. We're just out here loose, wilding out, having sex with all the wrong people. We don't get involved with the right people. We reject good people. The people that should be in our lives, we don't want them. But we'll accept the ungodly people that tears us apart. It's almost to the point where there's no hope for our people. It's to the point where speaking truth is like a waste of time, because it's like, okay, you have a lot of women out here, they're single, they're struggling, they're going through all of these pains and hurts. But when you try to teach women to get with a quality man, they don't want that. Instead, you find them on dates with men that are no good. They're in beds with men that are no good. They're being pumped and dumped, smashed and dashed, and then impregnated, then become a single mom overnight by men that are toxic. And then they complain that there are no good men. Do you understand me? And then you got a bunch of men out here. They want to use women for sex and destroy them. And for whatever reason, when things don't go right, now they don't want no black woman. Now they talking about we going overseas to find ourselves a non-black woman. But when they go overseas, they're not wifing up none of these women. They're not marrying none of them. They're not doing nothing with these women. What are we becoming as a people? What are we becoming? We're not marrying one another. We're not building family. We're not doing nothing. There really is no hope for our people at this point. Might as well you all just go live it up. Might as well all you guys just go out there, pump and dump, smash and dash. All you ladies, hey, you don't want to listen to the truth. You don't want to listen to me. So just go out there, open your legs for every guy, have babies out of wedlock. Just do whatever you want to do. Go party, drink, just go to hell, right? Just live it up. Have a good time. Everybody, hey, forget morals, forget values, forget the truth, forget everything. Hey, all you people following the Most High, hey, just forget about all the things. Just, hey, have a ball. Because we're not doing no better. We're not trying to do any better. We don't want to do better. We love toxicity. We love bondage. We don't want to grow. Ladies don't want a good man. They really don't. Men don't want a good woman. They want toxic women. Men talk all this stuff about black women or this, black women or that, but these men, they want a 304. They want a woman who's loose. You understand? It's to the point now where you got a lot of quality men that are on the verge of just going back into the world. I said it's to the point right now where you got a lot of quality men that are about to go back into the world because they're fed up. They're fed up with trying to do all the right things. They're fed up with speaking the truth. They're fed up with trying to have a certain standard of life. And when you look around, ain't nobody trying to be a part of nothing. Ain't nobody trying to grow. Nobody don't want to grow. So what happened? You become discouraged. You become discouraged and you say to yourself, there's no hope. My people are really destroyed for lack of knowledge. The women are not trying to build with the men. The men are not trying to build with the women. And all we do is bash each other all day on social media, all day, all night. That's what we're doing. And it's sad. It's very frustrating. You have a lot of guys out here that are quality men. They want to build with a black woman. They trying their best to do everything right. And when they get with a sister, it seems like it just never go or grow or do. It doesn't go nowhere. So these brothers, they become frustrated because look, I'm trying to love these sisters. I'm trying to do everything right. But these women, they don't want to be loved. They don't want a good man. They don't want that. They want a toxic guy. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to have to just be toxic. That's what they're doing. That's what they're saying. And it's sad. They're saying to themselves, I'm just going to go out there and be toxic. You know how many quality men have turned bad? Not because they wanted to. They had no hope. Imagine you on the street homeless with no food. No food. Imagine that. You're on the street with no food, no job, no money, nothing. What are you going to do to eat? You're going to end up resorting to robbing and stealing. You don't want to. You really don't. But you have to survive. It's not in your heart to rob. You don't want to do that. You would rather buy it. But when you're down and out and you don't got no money, you don't got no job, you're starving, you got to resort to robbing and stealing. It goes against all your ethics, all your morals and values. It bothers your character, but you got to resort to doing it because there's no other way. You're down and out, you're starving. So what do you think happened to a man when he's trying his best to love his women? He's doing his all to show that love, and his women don't love him back. Think about that. Think about that. You know, it's easy to say they looking in the wrong area. I think that's a cop-out. It really is. I appreciate your comment, but I think that's a cop-out. Because to say they're looking in the wrong area is to say there's a right area. Well, okay, where is that area? That's when you get crickets. See, the truth of the matter is, if you're a black woman, why you're not interested in a brother that's a quality man? So here's the thing. You don't want to be compared to no other woman. But you have black men out here that want to love you and wife you up. And you're saying they're looking in the wrong area. But they've been looking at black women their whole damn life. So now, if the black women are not gravitating towards him, I guess it's time for him to look in another area. Do you follow me now? And see, here's another issue. Once that brother got fed up looking in your area and you're not interested in him, and then he go look in another area, that is when you get in your feelings. And then you bash him and say, oh, look at him trying to get with a non-black woman. Do you see how that work now? Do you see how that work? Do you see how that work, that a black man, you can have a young black man trying his best to build with his women, but his women are not interested in building with him. They want a toxic guy. And then his women will say, he's looking in the wrong area. He's looking in the wrong area when he's only been looking at black women. So you're telling me every black woman he tried to deal with is the wrong area? Are you telling me that every black woman he's trying to talk to is the wrong black woman? So I guess all these women are just the wrong women for him. So what area is he to look in if all of these areas have been black women? It's a cop-out to say he's looking in the wrong area when he's been looking at black women his whole life. And there have been thousands upon thousands of black men that have been trying their best to love you sisters, and you don't love them back. Instead, they're not good enough. They're not making enough money. They don't have a car. They don't have this. You ain't trying to build with them. You ain't trying to grow. The first thing you do is compare yourself to them. What are we here for? To compete against one another? So black men and women are competing against one another. That's what we're doing with each other. We're competing against one another. We're not trying to build with one another. We're just competing. I teach black men to deal with their women, to deal with the black woman. But at the same time, what if the black woman ain't interested in that black man? What is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? I'm talking to you sisters. If the black man is trying his best to build with you sisters, and you sisters don't want to deal with him, what is that black man to do? What is he to do? What is he to do? I mean, you don't want him. You ain't trying to build with him. You ain't trying to have no family. You ain't trying to do nothing with him. So what is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? See, nobody can answer that question. You know why? Because you know what he's gonna do. He's gonna go find himself a non-black woman. And then when he find that non-black woman and he's happy, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna bash him. You're gonna look at him and you're gonna say, look at him with that white woman. Oh, he hate black women. No, he never hate black women. He always tried to get a black woman. He always tried to wife up a sister. He always tried. He always loved black women. I can't tell you the number of men that have tried their best to build with a sister all their life, all throughout junior high, all throughout high school, all throughout college. Black women didn't want him. And then the brother got himself a white woman or an Asian woman. Now the brother is married and he have children. And you know what's happening online? The sisters are bashing him. They're telling him that he's a sellout, that he don't love black women. Do you know how hurtful it sounds to a man to know that all his life he have loved you? All his life he's longed to take care of you. He wanted you, but you didn't want him. So he went and he got himself a non-black woman. And now that he's where he is, he have to hear that he hates black women? How is it that he hates women? How? How do he hate his own women when his whole life he been trying to get with a black woman, but they rejected him because they wanted a toxic guy? And I've already talked about this 1,000 times, and I want all of you ladies in the clouds all over to hear me. This is your future. Listen to me very carefully. To all you sisters, if you're not gravitating towards a righteous, quality black man, this is your outcome. You will be used. You will go through the ringer. You will be pumped and dumped by nothing but toxic men. You will have a baby out of wedlock, or 2 or 3. You will grow old. And then by the time you in your 40s, pushing 50, that is when you're going to desire a quality black man. But guess what? It's going to be too late. When I tell you that every last one of you ladies listening to my voice, you will hear my voice for the rest of your life when you reach that day. I'm telling you your destination. Prophetically. You're going to be about 52 and you're going to look back and you're going to remember all of the quality men that showed you love, that spoke well of you, but you didn't want to have nothing to do with them. And now all of those men, they're all married. They all got children, they're doing well, but you still single. By yourself. And the only thing you can remember is all the men you slept with. The only thing you can remember is the men you slept with and the men who did you dirty. That's your memory. No good memories. No good memories of love. No good memories of beautiful walks and great dinners and company. No. You're going to regret every single thing. I know sisters that I knew from junior high and high school. Sisters that went on to college. All them sisters, fam, are single mothers right now. 2, 3, 4 kids, all out of wedlock. All of them. I'm talking about all of them. Matter of fact, I'll go as far to say all the sisters I knew in school, from the old hood, from the old block, all of them, single mothers. No husband. No husband. Single mothers. Every last one of them. Every one of them. None of them have a husband at all. That's sad. So if you think that this is some sort of game, no, this is reality. You understand? The solution is very clear. You ladies, you need a quality man. And you ain't gonna get that from a toxic guy. I don't care how well put together that toxic man is. I can guarantee you, your heart is going to be broken. I'm telling you your future. If you don't get with a righteous man, you're going to understand. Just look around you and look at the results. Every lady you know, every sister you know is a single mom. Raising kids, 2 to 3 baby daddies, struggling. Working her 9 to 5, got her bag, driving her car, feeling herself, she's independent. At the same time, there's no husband. Why? Because you refuse to listen to the truth. You keep choosing men that are no good. You don't want a good man, because the only time you want that man is when you're pushing 50, after you've given the best years of your life to the worst possible men. Why is it that that's the way it is with our women? Why is it that in today's day, the only time a good man can actually have a sister to build a family with is when she's pushing 45 to 50, when there really is no incentive on getting with her at that time, especially if she already done built a whole family? It makes no sense. You understand? We have to get back to the basics of understanding life. And you brothers, you got to get back to the basics of understanding how to love your sisters and stop being out here pumping and dumping, because I'm really getting tired of talking. I really am. It's going to get to the point where you may not hear me talk about nothing no more. I'm going to move on to something totally different, because when I speak this kind of truth, I don't feel no energy from the people in terms of the people really gathering themselves together and really trying to build and grow. It's sort of like just entertainment. It's sort of like people just listening and kind of, yeah, I hear what you're saying. But the women they're still not gravitating towards the righteous brothers. They're not building anything. The brothers are still going out there pumping and dumping. So it's like, it's a waste of time. It's to the point where it's like, is there any hope in our people? Because you got great teachers and speakers all over social media that's sharing a lot of truth, and our people are just ignoring it. And then when we stop speaking, all of a sudden now, everybody's like, no, don't quit. No, don't stop. Really? But you don't care about the truth. You don't care about that which is righteous. You really don't. You want toxic people in your life, toxic friends. You want to live a crazy life. I get it. Maybe you just want to be ungodly. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Oh no, I get it. You're just looking in the wrong place. I get it, bro. It's that you found the wrong woman. She's just not the right woman for you. Really? But that brother been showing a lot of love to the sisters all his life. So are you telling me that black women are not good enough for him? So I guess he need to go and find himself some other woman. Because if his own women are not really fit for him, then what else is a man to do? And if he choose to do that, should black women now bash him and say that he's a hater? Or that he don't like black women because of that? What's really going on with our people? I'm telling you, as I sit and do this recording, it's as if though I feel the pain for all the people that will end up where I've been saying all this time. I don't know why the Most High gave me this ability to see these things, but I already done see your future. All of you sisters at the sound of my voice, you don't got no quality man in your life? Trust me. Trust and believe. It's either you're going to be that single mom, or you're going to be that sister that's going to be hanging with your girlfriends, kind of just hooking up with different men, doing your little thing, having your little fun. And then you're going to be in your 50s and 60s by yourself in that crib. By yourself. You brothers that like to pump and dump these women, you're going to find yourself by yourself. No family, no kids. You ain't going to have nothing. You're going to be a brother in your 60s with no kids. You never had no offspring ever, because you've been out here abusing women. and taking advantage of them. You see, our people are evil, very, very wicked. This is why we were thrown in slavery by the Most High. A lot of times you Israelites, you love calling the white man the devil. No. No. On the contrary, our people are devils. That's why the Most High punished us. See, you have a lot of hatred towards white people because of slavery. But when you really study the Bible and really realize it was the Most High who sent the other nations to put our people in slavery and in captivity. So if you got a problem with why we were enslaved, you need to check what the Most High said in the scriptures. Because he was the one that put us in captivity. He's the one who gave the powers that be the power to destroy our people. And a lot of times you folks love to say, well, the issue that we have against the other nations, that they went above and beyond what the Most High gave them. No, that's BS. The Most High said that you're going to be sold as bondmen and bondwomen. There is nothing nice about that. He was punishing us because we didn't follow his laws, statutes, and commandments. Until this day, we still wicked and still not following his way. And this is why we have no black family. This is why we have no love. We should be celebrating life. All of these sisters that are in the clouds, they should all be pregnant by righteous men right now. They should all be bringing forth life, but that's not happening. No. Instead, we're just bashing one another, talking crap about one another, worrying about who made up, who broke up, who had sex with who, a waste of time. While we worrying about what other people are doing, our life sucks. We're not building no family. We're not bringing forth no children. The greatest joy in the world is when you can see a woman deliver a baby. Do you understand me? The greatest joy in the world is when you could see a black woman deliver a baby. And you could look and you could say, wow, we created life, another generation. And now we can do what we have to do as an adult to make sure that these children make it to the other side. But what are we doing today? We're playing games, fighting against one another, gossiping, backbiting, belittling one another, bashing black women, bashing black men. There really is no constructive criticism. We're not trying to elevate one another. I truly believe there is no hope for our people. And this is why a lot of men are going their own way. This is why a lot of women are angry, talking about they divesting, because we're all angry with one another. And we think that if we go get some other person from another ethnic group, that somehow all of our problems will be solved. Sadly, it will only grow worse. Are you living or just existing? Are you living or just existing? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Sadly, a lot of you brothers, you're never going to have a wife in this life. To all the brothers that are in the clouds, to all the brothers that are in the chat, a lot of you brothers that may not even have a woman right now, I'm sorry to break the bad news to you. But most of you brothers are never going to have a wife in this life. Not amongst your own people. Because as far as I'm concerned with the way things are going, we're divided. We're really divided. Do you know that the womb of the black woman is being held hostage from righteous men? I'm going to repeat that again. The womb of a black woman is being held hostage from righteous, good men. But she would open that womb for the most toxic kind of man there is and bring forth his baby into this evil world. And you wondering why we got so much black on black crime. You're wondering why we have so much violence amongst our people. It's because our women keep bringing forth the babies of ungodly, toxic, disgusting, dusty males. That's why. You see, black woman, I'm going to tell you something. Your womb was meant to bring forth life. It was meant to bring forth life of the righteous. And you're going to have to give an account for your womb. See, your breast was made to provide nourishment for your children. Yeah, it could be useful for pleasure for a man, for your husband, but it was made to feed your young. But your womb was made to bring forth life. But the life that you're bringing forth today, it's not coming from righteous men. It's not coming from a godly man. It's not coming from a good man. This is why a lot of your sons are in prison right now. This is why a lot of your sons are getting gunned down in these streets. This is why a lot of your daughters are loose in these streets. Because the children that you're actually bringing forth today are not coming from the seed of a godly, righteous man. Oh no. You know that the baby father that you have ain't no good. You know he have a prison record, always done evil, very, very toxic. But you gave him children. You gave him the best years of your life. And now you brought forth the life of children from the offspring of a wicked man. What do you expect this world to be? So, again, the womb of the black woman is being held hostage from righteous men. Righteous men are not procreating with women today. They're not. Righteous, godly, good men. I'm talking about good men of standards. They're not multiplying with black women today. They're not. It's not happening at all. It's not. Because women typically don't want those guys when they're in their prime. Or when they're in their 30s, because they think they still got it. They still think they can go out there and play the field. The only time women, black women, typically want a quality man is when she's 46, 47, pushing 50. That's when she want that kind of guy. After her body changed, she's no longer as attractive as she once was. Then all of a sudden, she want that good brother to come in and pick up the pieces. That's what she wants. Do you really think that's fair? And you're wondering why none of these brothers are trying to wife up you sisters once you reach those ages. You're wondering why. There's no incentive in doing that. You want the good man when you already done grown older, had kids already. Now you want him? I think that's very disrespectful. I don't think that that's good. There really is no hope for our people. With such a powerful message like this, we're going to continue to do what's wrong. That's the sad part. With all this truth I shared, you're going to go right back into your life and do the very same thing. That's insanity. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. Women are going to continue to do the same thing, getting with Pookie and Ray Ray, throwing their body all over the place. You got all these brothers that want to mate and build family. But you don't want that. Because that's messing with your future. That's messing with your trips. That's messing with your traveling. That's messing with all sorts of different things. Now, I don't want that right now. I want to live my life right now. Woman, in the end, what the Most High is going to talk to you about is your womb. Why wasn't your womb used to bring forth life? That's why I put you here for. I put you here for a purpose. Why wasn't your womb used for that? Well, I had a career. Why wasn't your womb used to bring forth life? Well, I wanted to go on hot girl summer and enjoy my life. Why wasn't your womb used to bring forth life? Why you weren't a helpmate to that brother? Why wasn't you a helpmate to that quality man? Why you weren't there? Well, I'm independent. I wanted to do my own thing. I tell you, we hear a lot about Judgment Day, but it's going to be a lot of gnashing with teeth during that day. And let's not forget you brothers. A lot of you brothers, you're going to be gnashing with your teeth too when the Most High put you in the lake of fire for all the women that you took advantage of. Oh yeah. And you know what's so sad about this? If we don't change as a people, if we don't get right, there's not going to be no more righteous men speaking. You mark my words. You mark my words. You could mark this date. If we continue as a people being wicked and we're not growing, we're not building family, we're not marrying, we're not multiplying, we just living our best life, driving cars and talking about houses and all this nonsense, and we ain't building our people, there's going to be a drought in this land. And there's not going to be no teachers, no righteous men. For all the righteous men will grow silent. And the majority of brothers that was once in the truth will go astray. And they will all become whoremonger males, and all the women will be taken advantage of. And there will be none good. Everyone will be wicked. And that's when the Most High's judgment will come in and the plagues will fall and we will all be destroyed and we will all be dancing in the lake of fire and brimstone. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm out. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/RingoTVRaw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Black Male Advice TV, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw and uncut. I'm out. Peace.